for the boys.
Woo! Oh, I fucked.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. If you're having a day like mine, then I am sorry because mine's kind of sucking. So this is going to be more of an instructional video again because I'm kind of running into a lot of issues on my Del Sol. So if you're just popping by the video to kind of check it out, this is my 1993 Honda Del Sol. I bought it a couple months ago. I've just been fixing it up. It's just my daily driver. So right now I'm having trouble with the AC system. So what happened is when I got the car, AC wasn't working, did some sniffing around, found that my tensioner had fallen off because it's under here. So you probably couldn't see it because it was dark, but I've got some aftermarket AC system. I can't find a name brand, but it's just some generic shop's aftermarket system. So yeah, it's kind of janky looking. So it has its own harness that runs along under here, comes up right here. This is some aftermarket high pressure switch. These are just custom condenser and lines and stuff, and a compressor with the other line, and it's all ghetto-ish. I mean, kind of. But yeah, I got the tensioner put on, it was working. Now, a couple months later, here I am. It worked 2 days ago on my way to work. In the morning, it was fine, got out of work, went to go home, and it was not working. And being that it is 116 out here because I'm in Arizona and in the summertime, I need AC. So what I'm going to be doing today is showing you how to go about through diagnosing this. So I'm going to just jump right into it. Alright, so let's say you come in here and got your car on or whatever, just power you got. AC compressor isn't kicking on. So first thing people are probably going to tell you is to check for refrigerant. You may have a leak somewhere, which could definitely be true. I mean, if you don't have any dye in your system, and then you can't really tell if you have a leak or not without getting dye in there and sniffing around for it, unless it's a very obvious leak. So assuming that you have enough refrigerant in your system, assuming that you went and got it evac, it held pressure, and or you charged it through a couple cans in yourself and all seemed well. If it just randomly stopped working like this, let's go through a few things and we can figure out what's going on. So right off the bat, let's just make sure that the compressor is working. So you're gonna come down here, assuming that you're also doing this on a Honda, you're gonna have one wire that comes off your AC compressor just like this, and pretty much all you wanna do is just unplug it. It's just a male to female pin connector like that. And what we're gonna do is just apply direct 12 volts to it. So I'm just gonna go grab a piece of wire and touch it to that and touch it to the positive on the battery, and we'll hear the compressor clutch engage. So we got this long piece of wire, so just tap that onto the battery right there, grab our connector, and touch it, and see if it clicks. And so alongside with that, you guys could hear it click, but you can also spin your hand, spin the compressor clutch by hand. As long as it's not seized up, then you know that's not gonna be your issue either. So now that we've confirmed that the compressor isn't at fault because the compressor clutch was engaging, now we're gonna move on to the next thing. So next thing for me, what I'm gonna test is make sure that I'm actually getting power to the relays, because on this car, the 92 to 95 Civic, Del Sol, pretty much almost any Honda, 90s Honda that I've ran into, you're gonna have two relays for the AC system. There's gonna be the condenser fan relay and there's going to be the AC compressor clutch relay. All right, so for this part, you're gonna need yourself a multimeter. And right here, I already got the relays unbolted. But for most people, they're gonna, if you have an EG like 92, 95 Civic, they're gonna be mounted off an L bracket that sits right here on the radiator support. Mine were just mounted right here on the condenser, but it's hard to miss them. They are big relays. The only difference is, seeing as mine's an aftermarket system with a custom harness, I have a little bit different wiring than you. Yours is most likely going to be two 4-pin relays, but these are the same because these ones essentially just have one pin in there that does nothing. It's just grounded out. So for yours, you're probably going to have a pinch clip. Mine just kind of wiggle right off. Yep, my relays, like I said, simple as that. Just pull them off. And I'll show you how to test these relays as well. but since I'm right here, I'm gonna just test this. So to test your connectors, pretty much what you're gonna be looking for is 12 volts with accessory power on to 2 of these pins. So I'm gonna go turn the key on, and let's get your multimeter set up to 12 volts. So, or yeah, 20 volts, I'm sorry. So turn it over to 20 into the volts, turn it on, and you're good to go. So for this part, you're just gonna simply wanna ground out your black terminal right there, or whatever, black connector. All right, so right here, you're gonna have obviously your pins. So again, I have 5 pin relays, but the 4th pin is empty, or the middle pin is empty, like I said, so mine's just a 4. So now you're just gonna stick it in the connector until you get 12. So okay, that one right there has 12 volts. That one has none. That one has none. And that one has 12 as well. See, so 12 on these 2 right here. So we know that wire is good. Got 12 on that one. And we got 12 on that one. So nothing on these 2. So we know that these are good. So another thing to look for right off the bat, since we're right here, is the high pressure switch. So for that one, we're just gonna be turning our thing to continuity. So it's kind of hard to describe what that logo is. It looks like a kind of like a lamp with kind of like a little Wi-Fi looking thing. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so find that, and it's gonna beep when it lets us know that there is something going on in the circuit there, or when there's power to the circuit. So we're just gonna start touching connectors together. So nothing. Oh, see, right there. So these 2 connectors, power and ground. Like I said, yours is gonna be a 2, so yours is gonna be simple. Mine's a 4 for whatever reason. So these 2 connectors right here, or 2 pins, I'm sorry, giving it off continuity, so that means the high pressure sensor is good. So confirming that the high pressure switch, I'm sorry, not sensor, confirming that the high pressure switch is good means that obviously that is not the issue. With the high pressure switch, what that does essentially is it reads when there's too much pressure in the high side of the line, which is going to be the skinnier line. When there's too much pressure in there, it activates, and that causes the AC system to shut off because it doesn't want it to damage it. And on this car specifically, even in the factory service manual, it doesn't say anything about a low pressure switch. So most cars, you're gonna have a low pressure switch on the low line, and that does the opposite. When the pressure gets too low, it shuts the AC system off. So you can do the test on both of them. Usually you'll find your low pressure switch on the low line, which is the low pressure line, which is gonna be your thicker line. So just follow that up, and you should be able to find it. Sometimes it's right off the compressor, or it's right at the firewall, and vice versa. So now that we've confirmed that the 2 harnesses are good and the high pressure switch is good, let's test these relays really quick and make sure that those are functioning as they should. All right, so to test these relays, what I've done is I've taken 2 pieces of wire, stuck one on the negative terminal, stuck one on the positive, and then we're just gonna touch around the pins on the relays until we get it to click. If the relay clicks, then you know the relay is good. Okay, so that middle one, or that left relay works. This relay works. Oh, power wire came undone. And that relay works. So all 3 relays are good. So that means that's not the issue. All right, well, so far we've ruled out that it's not the compressor, it's not the high pressure switch, and or maybe for you the low pressure switch. We've ruled out that it is not the 2 relays, and we've ruled out that it is not the relay sub-harnesses, or whatever you want to call those. So it's not in the engine bay side of the harness, and it is not in the engine bay. So now that means we've got to go inside the car now. Alright, so in cases like this, it really helps and pays off to have a factory service manual. Thankfully, I was fortunate enough that I was able to borrow this from my work, and I'm going to just do it by here. So instead of taking the climate control out first, I'm going to just do what it says in the order that it's going. So it's having me test the AC thermostat, which is under the glove box. Normally to get the glove box out on these, on my car specific, the Del Sol, there's just a couple screws underneath, but mine is broken, so I just gotta clip my zip tie, and dash will come out, and then there's gonna be a connector that's on the blower motor assembly, and we will test voltage there. Alright, so next up we're gonna be testing for voltage at the AC thermostat switch, or the connector or whatever. So mine is very hard to get to. I have a 95 service manual, this is 93. The 95, 97 Civic Del Sol models are different. So normally it'd be like right around here, but mine is tucked off under this thing a little bit. You can see that little harness off to the right, that's gonna be it. So we're just gonna unhook that, fairly easily. All right, so here it is. A little hard to see, but that's what it looks like. So obviously, because I have a fisheye lens, this isn't going to be easy to film. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is there is going to be a yellow and white wire on the top of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to ground it out, and we're just going to test that pin for voltage. The book itself doesn't say how much voltage we need, so I don't think it has to be 12 volts. Just any voltage I think is okay. All right, so now we're going to be testing the wire under it, which should be the yellow black. All right, and so we got 0.3 volts right there. So that tells us that since we have voltage at both points, that the thermostat should be good. All right, so mine, I noticed that when I pulled the dash apart, there's this piece right here. Now, I'm pretty sure that is my thermostat, my AC thermostat. It's got the hard line going up that goes up into the dash somewhere, which I'm assuming goes into the evap unit or whatever. So I tested for continuity on it, and there is continuity on it, so I think that just further confirms that that is not the issue. So the next thing that the book tells you to do if you have voltage on those two pins is to ground out the blue and red cable. So the blue and red cable for yours might be on that connector over there. For mine, it ended up being spliced into this connector that's off of this thing right here. So brought this testing into the next day. It got too late last night, so picking up where I left off, we just got done testing the AC thermostat, and it was good. We ended up checking for voltage on the wires. That was all good. So moving on now, we're going to be testing the AC switch itself. So I already went ahead and took the car apart, so obviously it's going to differ for your car, but you just need to get access to your climate control unit. And essentially what we're going to be doing is power on to accessory. You disconnect for my case, the green plug, the 14-pin connector, and we're going to be testing for continuity on the pins 9 and 10 on the AC switch itself. So if we have continuity, then the switch is good. Alright, so it's beeping, so that means we have continuity to it. So that means next up, we're going to be checking for continuity on the green and the black plugs on the heater fan switch itself. So in my case, if you have, again, 92 to 95 Civic, yours should be the same. You're gonna have this 6-pin connector. The middle pin is going to be the green pin, and the book says it's supposed to be the left pin, that's the black pin, but mine is the right pin. So I'm checking the green pin first. This one makes it super easy. You can just stuff it in there. So that one's got continuity. And the black one has continuity too. So the mistake I ran into is I was checking the wrong wire. But another thing, if that black wire does not have continuity, then you have to go check your C or your G201 ground, and I'll show you where that is, and then your G401 ground, which the G401 is the ground that's right up under here. To get access to the G401, you got to remove your kick panel down here, pull the carpet back a bit, and it's going to be one of these big connectors like right here. See all those ground wires on there? Yeah, that's the 401 connector. And then this one right here in the engine bay, you're going to come to the left side of the compartment, and it'll be bolted right up there. So if you've tested the green wire and there's no continuity to the green wire, you have a break in the wire somewhere. So unfortunately for you, that means you're going to have to take the harness out, which is just going to be a pain in the butt because you got to follow it through the dash, and it's just held in with a bunch of zip ties essentially. So pull that out, unravel it, and you're gonna have to find that dead spot in the wire. If you have continuity there but none at the black wire, then the best thing to do would be to check those two grounds, like I said, clean them up, and check for any loose pins in there. So if you are like me and you have continuity at both wires, then that just leaves room for the heater fan switch, which is right here. So my unit is probably going to be different from yours unless you're doing a Del Sol as well. So I don't know if I can get one at the auto parts store. If I can, I'll do that. If not, I'm going to just try and find a junkyard today, go pull one out, and I will follow up in the next video, let you guys know if it worked, or I will pin it in the top comments so you guys can go down there and check it out, see if, make sure it worked. But yeah, so hopefully you guys found these this information useful. I know that I sure as heck did, because I kind of went through learning as I went, because I don't do wiring myself, but I definitely don't want to take it to an AC shop. So hopefully if this helped you, you can get yours figured out too. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, be sure to comment, let me know if it did help you. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. I do weekly videos, car stuff, skateboarding, lifestyle, whatever I want. So stick around, turn on post notifications, do what you love, figure out the rest, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.